Hi there, it's Kevin with RogueDeckBuilder.com here with a bit of a, this was just released, just barely. It's actually marked for tomorrow. In my time it's still 11 o'clock, so this is released for tomorrow, Tuesday, May 13th. This is the Modern Event Deck, which has finally been spoiled to its completions, and let's just say they missed the boat on this one again, and let me show you why. It's black-white tokens. That's been spoiled for quite a while now. Well, at least leaked. And first of all, it's kind of, I'm a follower of the MTG Finance Reddit community, and this is before black-white tokens was ever 100% confirmed. It had been hinted, and we'll put hinted in quotations on Reddit, that this card is going to be, or this was going to be the theme of the event deck, Modern Event Deck. Now, I don't want to cry wolf or cry foul quite yet and say there's someone with insider information, but I mean, Bitter Blossom was rumored to be unbanned way before it was actually confirmed that it was unbanned, and there have been like some spot on quote-unquote predictions on MTG Finance Reddit that are too spot on for me to not raise an eyebrow. And Wizards really needs to get a handle on this and figure out which one of their employees is actually leaking information before these are actually official. Anyway, that is my hunch. I can't confirm that. I've spoken to a few other YouTubers and a few other people that are involved in the finance community, and they're with me on it, that it just seems to be that the information is getting out there way before. I mean, it's called speculation, but it's really isn't speculation. I mean, these things are written matter of fact. Anyway, that's a side note. But so we've known for a while this is gonna be black-white tokens, so everyone's thinking that, hey, maybe a few copies of a desperately needed rare in the form of Marsh Flats. Looking over the lands, well, how about we reprint 4 Caves of Koilos instead of Marsh Flats? I mean, they definitely didn't spare any rares here on the lands. Windbrace Heights, that definitely needs a reprint. I mean, there's some value in that. I love this card in Soul Sisters, and it sees some play elsewhere in Modern, but I wouldn't say any Tier 1 decks actually play Windbrace Heights. Evolve the Archangel, another rare that absolutely does not need a reprint, and Isolated Chapels? These are so subpar cards in Modern. And then City of Brass, which again, it sees some fringe play on some really weird like 4 or 5 color decks, but not really. As far as a 2-color deck, City of Brass is very weak. There's a lot of other options out there besides City of Brass. So Wizards, you 100% missed the ball on your land base here. And I say Windbrace Heights is great because this is a token strategy. But we do get 2 Inquisitions of Kozilek. That's cool. This card desperately did need reprinted because it's like an $8 uncommon or $6 to $8 uncommon. But Honor the Pure is still a very, very inexpensive rare. Intangible Virtues is of course, an inexpensive uncommon. Lingering Souls and Spectral Processions were just barely printed in a Sorin versus T-Balt deck that is keeping the price down of these. So they go ahead and print these again? That's kind of weird. Path to Exile, yeah, I could see this needed a nice little reprint, but again, it was just reprinted in Modern Masters. And then we get this Sword of Feast and Famine out of nowhere. A lot of times, this deck prefers like a Sword of Light and Shadow, and they use actually more relevant creatures to actually get them back, or a Sword of Fire and Ice. So the Sword of Feast and Famine is kind of a eyebrow. I'm raising my eyebrow at this one here, and of course Elf's Persecution does go in the black-white tokens, and Elspeth Night Errant. So you get some cool cards, but this card was just reprinted in Modern Masters as well. So it really makes me raise my eyebrow. I completely think they missed the ball on this event deck. I mean, again, it is packed full of some value, but I mean, these could have been they don't use Soul Wardens. They use the, now I can't think of my favorite card out of Soul Sisters, the 2-mana, the champion, the Auric champion, that has protection from red and protection from black. They make it a lot more relevant as a 2-drop instead of Soul Warden. So it's your 2-mana casting cost. Auric champion stays out against a lot of the removal. Of course, it dodges Anger of Gods. It dodges it can block, it dodges any sort of black removal, it dodges lightning bolt, it dodges electrolyze, and so it's something that you actually do need to stabilize against the aggressive decks, and they go ahead and print Soul Warden instead. So again, this is just a complete miss on the designers of this black-white tokens deck. Again, Black-White Tokens has had some top finishes, but I wouldn't even call this a tier 1 deck, or even maybe a tier 2. It's very it sees play every now and again. I don't know if it had a good showing at the Pro Tour. I'd have to look at the statistics of actually Black-White Tokens. Me personally, I prefer playing Soul Sisters. I think they run very similarly. This one tries to overwhelm, but I mean, Soul Sisters kind of does the same thing with Squadron Hawks. And with it has Spectral Processions in the Soul Sisters build and on the Pure, and then you just get a lot of value through a lot of earlier 1-drops as actual creatures, and you flood the board that way. So I mean, Elspeth Knight Errant I've played a couple of times in some various Soul Sister brew, and I actually like Bramaz over Elspeth Knight Errant now. So yeah, there's some value in this. I think these are going to go for like $49.99 or $39.99. I don't know exactly what the MSRP is going to be on here, so you definitely do get your value from the Elspeth, the Path to Exiles, and like the Windbrace Heights. But all in all, it's definitely not what we wanted. No Marsh Flats, and no incredibly high pricey, reprints that I think the format needed to see. So yeah, all in all, I'd give this like a 2 out of 5 star. Pick them up if you get them for cheap, but I mean, I'm sure even at the price right now, I mean, these might be worth more in the future. But with all the reprints, like Elspeth was reprinted again, Modern Masters reprint here, Sorin versus T-Balt reprint here, Modern Masters reprint here, Sorin versus T-Balt reprint here, inexpensive rare, inexpensive lands. This isn't the greatest pickup even at its MSRP cost. So that's my review. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I much would rather have them do something like Merfolk, like Fish, as the event deck, or even Burn as the event deck. You could have got like some Aether Vials out of Fish. They could have done like a green-white Hate Bears deck. You could even include like a Goyf in that, and that would have been awesome. Bring the price down on the Goyf and sell a ton of these. They could have done Storm, even though Wizards has already said they don't really like Storm, so maybe they don't want to have that be an event deck. But they could have done like a Zoo type build with this. They could have done an Affinity. There could have been so many different ways that I think would have been just ballpark home runs for Wizards, but they completely missed the boat on this one. Again, let me know what you think in the comment section below. This has been Kevin with RogueDeckBuilder.com. Thanks for watching.